So, welcome everybody to creating your most profitable client attraction process. I'm super duper excited to share this information. And you guys, I haven't shared this information before in any of my paid programs either. So those of you that are my clients inside of Active Abundance, I'm really, really excited to have you guys here. Here's Miss Rebecca. Tanya's here, no problem. So yeah, if you will just make sure that you're all muted for now and come off camera if you can. I would love to see you. Tanya, don't worry if you can't get the video up, like no big deal. Welcome, Rebecca. It's just more fun when I get to see you guys too, instead of just a whole bunch of names. So this is going to be an interactive process. I want to encourage you that no question is off limits. I want to make sure that you walk away really understanding what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how to do it as well. So, when we're building a business, this is really a critical component. And so we're going to talk about, how are we attracting our ideal client and what are the most effective ways to do that without having to pay for ads, without having to hire a whole bunch of team, without having to do SEO optimization or Google AdWords or all of those things that actually are taking money out of our business. So this is a way that I have grown my business to multiple six figures. It is the way that I enjoy growing my business because it's a very high touch, low tech way. There she is, there's Tanya, way of cultivating conscious connections with people. And I want to take you through first the Shine Wealthy Blueprint. So it's so funny when I decided what I wanted to kind of call my process. And because my business, for those of you that don't know, is called Shine Wellness. I actually started it in 2013 as a massage therapy practitioner and have since then added in multiple things from prior to that, I was a yoga teacher. I have built and grown my own health coaching practice as well as my nutritional therapy practice. And so it just made sense for me in teaching other wellness entrepreneurs how to do that, that we get to not only shine well in our own wellness and sustainability, but we get to be well paid doing that. And so that is one of the things that I love to support wellness entrepreneurs, whether you are a health coach, a life coach, a parenting coach, a spiritual coach, a massage therapist, an energy worker, a holistic practitioner in some way, shape, or form. This is allowing you to know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, so that you can attract the best fit for your client and have a process with this. And this is really key. Without processes, we're just kind of like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing what sticks. And what we want to do in order to build a sustainable as well as a thriving and profitable business is we want to make sure that we have a process. And so the process that I'm going to help you with today is your client attraction process. And really, when we boil business down to the business basics, it all comes down to three things, no matter what you're selling, whether you're selling a service or whether you're selling mattresses or whether you're selling a product. It is you have to get in front of people and be visible. That's about our traffic. You have to let people know what it is that you do and how you can help them. Right? That is your potential clients, which typically in the marketing world, we call that leads. I don't like the word leads. I like potential clients coming into my world or to my ecosystem. So I'm going to refer to that as an ecosystem. And then we also have to create conversions, right? We have to have our clients actually saying yes to working with us. And we want to be able to do that in the most heart-centered, high-integrity way so that it doesn't feel like we're just trying to drag somebody across the finish line or trying to convince or persuade or overcome anybody. And so we're going to talk about, these things and how we get to do that in a way that is going to allow you to create a six-figure business or more in a way that is fully aligned, in a way that is joyful for you, and in a way that actually really works. So lucky for you, I've done all the investing in strategy coaches and mindset coaches, and literally have spent probably over $100,000 in my own business training. And I'm boiling down what I feel is the most important that I want you guys to walk away with. So I'm really, really glad that you're here. So let's start with the Shine Wealthy Blueprint. And again, for those of you that don't have your workbook, you can go ahead and pull that up at the link. But, there's some specific places that we get to come from. And remember, your energy is going to go wherever your attention is. And the first place that we always want to start with is the abundance mindset. Because if we don't, Yes. Thank you for asking, Sam. So Elise, could you just drop the link again for Miss Samantha Schmuck? Yeah. So the abundance now mindset really is the way that we are being. How are we showing up in the world? What are our beliefs, right? And so if we are in a scarcity mindset where we're focusing on what's not going well, all of the things that you're confused about or you're spinning with, or you're not sure how to make it happen, or you got to get the client because you got to pay the bills, right? Like all of those things, that is actually a way of being that we're showing up in the world as lacking confidence and not being the empowered wellness leader that you already are. And so we get to claim what it is that we are first. And I'm going to use an example. Some of you know, and some of you don't know that I'm writing a book. And I'm putting my process that I've learned into a book to get it out into more people's hands. And I actually, and this is a true story, had this conversation with my mindset coach this morning. I was like, you know what? I'm just really having a hard time like getting words on paper. And so we were talking through it and I'm like, oh, I'm not seeing myself as an author. I'm not seeing myself as a writer. In order for me to even get this book done, I have to first embrace the identity that I am a writer, that I am an author, even before the book comes out. Instead of saying, well, I'm not really an author until the book gets put up. No, I'm a writer, I'm an author now. And when I claim that identity right now, that is what is going to allow the book to be finished, right? Same thing with you. You get to claim that you are a six-figure business coach right now. So that identity is what is going to carry you forward. That's what I'm calling the abundance mindset. Okay. You get to claim that which you desire right now so that you can then show up in the world as that and then be able to take the inspired actions that are going to propel you in that direction. Versus when we're in scarcity, when we're in confusion, when we're in spinning, when we are focused more on what's going wrong instead of what's going well, what ends up happening is that we end up stepping into the identity of confusion, of self-doubt, of not being enough, of all of the things that are not what create a six-figure, multiple six-figure or seven-figure business. And so of course, we're not going to be able to create from that place, right? It's kind of like when we wanted to learn to ride a bike, right? Like if someone said, if you said, hey, I want to ride a bike, and they said, well, you've never done it before, how are you going to do that? We're not going to say, oh, you're right, I've never ridden a bike before, so I'm not going to do it. We're going to be like, well, I'm going to get on the bike. I'm probably going to fall down a couple times. I'm going to get back on. I'm going to pedal again, and I'm going to learn how to ride a bike. But you had to start with the claiming that you were going to ride the bike, that you were going to be a bike rider. And so again, this is really a critical piece because this is going to be where you're taking action from. And this is going to be something that I want you to realign over and over and over and over again too. Now, this doesn't mean we have to stay in this place 100% of the time. That's impossible. If you're a human and have a human brain, you're going to come up with doubt, and there's going to be the critter brain and the gremlins that are saying you can't do this, or what makes you think about this, and that's okay. We want to stay in the abundance mindset 51% of the time. 51% of the time. So for those of you that are recovering perfectionists like me, we get to take the perfection off the table and be like, you know what? I just get to realign. I just get to make a new choice. I just get to come from. So we just get to choose again. No blame, no shame, no beat up. Okay. The other component of the Shine Wealthy Blueprint is that we get to come from a service first position where we are really building value and giving generously. This is about how can we create and serve others and helping them get what they want. This isn't about how do I convince this person to give me their money. That feels icky. If it feels icky for you, it's going to feel icky for them. We want to partner with people to help them get what it is that they want. And so that is, instead of, having sales calls, which I just don't like that name, because when we go into having a conversation with somebody and we're focused on closing the deal or making the sale, that means we're not opening to a partnership. It means we're looking for how we are overpowering or going to overcome somebody's objection. Right? And that's not a partnership. That's not a partnership. That is you having an expectation that you've got to do something to them in order to get them to make a sale or make them buy. Right? And so there's a very big difference between making a sale in your business and partnering with people to help them get what they want, which is enrollment. Okay, a sale is just a transaction. A sale is somebody saying, yes, I want to partner with you so that I can have this experience over here. A sale has to happen. It's just an energetic exchange. That's all it is. The enrollment process or the invitation process is us getting to partner with somebody to hear what it is that they want, what are they struggling with, and how we can serve them and support them in taking the step in the direction to help them get that. And doesn't that feel amazing? Right? When we can come from a service-oriented place instead of, oh my God, how do I close the deal? How do I say just the right thing to get someone to say yes? Oh my gosh, even me saying that right now, like my heart and my throat and my chest just are like constricting. Instead of, you know what, I just get to partner with somebody and help them make an empowered decision. Yep, that's all I get to do. So the service first is also part of the mindset in which we get to take action from and we get to support people. And that is going to allow us to show up in the world as the heart-centered entrepreneurs that you are. You are here to make a difference. You get to make a difference and you also get to be well paid. It doesn't need to be an either or. Okay, giving away your services for free are not going to make you more spiritual. As a matter of fact, I would say that it is going to impede the progress of the clients that you want to help. Okay, so we also want to have a simple, repeatable system. Okay, a simple, repeatable system. And this is what I teach inside of the Activate Abundance program. It's a 6-step simple. It's called the Soulful Abundance system, and simple is the key. We want to have a strategy that is repeatable. So what's the strategy? The strategy is, how are we being visible? How are we creating visibility in the world? And what type of platform do we want to use to create that? I'm going to talk more about that today. The strategy is, how are we nurturing and developing and cultivating relationships and giving value? And then how are we inviting people to work with us? Okay. We also want to make sure that we're dialed in on a couple really key components, like having an offer that is attractive to your ideal client, pricing it appropriately so that it is in alignment with the life that you want to live and the time freedom that you want to have, as well as the income that you want to generate. Okay. It's understanding and knowing your ideal client. And so we're not going to really be able to go through the ideal client or the pricing or the program component of it, but I already covered that inside the Abundance Bootcamp, and you all have access to those replays. So if you want support around that, go ahead and dive into day 1, 2, and 3. And that is going to be where we've talked about ideal client, creating a hell yes offer for your ideal client. We talked about designing your 6-figure business blueprint so that we can actually make sure that we're pricing your business model and choosing a business model that's going to help you get to 6 figures. And now we're in the attract phase. So how are we going to show up with traffic, with bringing people into our ecosystem and nurturing them and inviting them to work with us? Okay, and then we also have the heart-centered, the nurture method for heart-centered marketing and sales. So again, marketing is being visible, sharing your message. It's all it is. It's not icky, it's not salesy, it's not slimy, it's just being visible. Sales is how you're actually inviting people into that next step to work with you. And then we get to take inspired and empowered action. So I want a commitment from everybody here today that you will do something with the information that I'm teaching you within the next 24 hours. Can I get a thumbs up? Something, one, even if it's one simple tiny step, type in the comments yes. Like, I want a commitment from everybody here that you will do something with this information, that you will take inspired action, because if you don't take action, nothing happens. Now, we're talking about taking action from a place of inspiration and alignment, not hustle, right? Not, oh my God, what do I do? How do I get the thing? We're not into that. I'm not into hustle. I don't do hustle. So but we do have to take inspired action. Okay, so let's take a look at this next piece. Yes, Deanna says yes. Great. I want you to take a look at this next piece here, because this is really an important component, this Venn diagram of attract, nurture, and invite. If we want to have paying clients, we really need to have those 3 components. And what I find is that most people who are not making money in their business right now are missing a component of that. They don't have all 3 pieces. And I want to share with you why all 3 are important. If we are attracting people into our world, that's great. But if we're not attracting the right people into our world, then we're going to be attracting people who are saying, your stuff is great, but they never actually buy. Right? So we want to attract the people that we are the best fit for helping them get the value that we want. Okay, so we can attract the right people into our world. We can invite them to work with us even, but if they're not the right client, then it's not going to make a difference. Okay. And so I refer to the different types of clients in our ecosystem as being either on the sidewalk, the slow lane, or the fast lane. Sidewalkers are people who don't believe they have a problem. They might be showing up, they might be following you, they might be giving you hearts and likes, but they don't believe that there's a problem that they need solved right now. Okay. And so for those people, we just get to tuck them in and love on them. That's it. We're not kicking them out. We just tuck them in, we just love on them, and we just know that they're not ready to solve a problem. And so there's no use in convincing or trying to persuade because they don't see that they have a problem. They're not ready to solve the problem that they have. Okay. Then we've got people that are in the slow lane, and the people in our ecosystem that are in the slow lane are actively searching for a problem. They just haven't found the right person, or they haven't found the solution yet. Okay. That's going to make up about 67% of the people that are in your world. And those are the people that we want to speak to. People on the sidewalk are going to make around 30%. People in the slow lane are going to be, those are the people that we want to market to. Those are the people that we want to be invisible and we want to be visible in front of. Those are the people that we want to attract into our ecosystem. And then we've got people that are in the fast lane, and the people that are in the fast lane are only 3%. But maybe there are people who have been in your world for a while. They've seen you, they've been following you, and they're ready. And they're like, yep, I'm ready to go. Here's my credit card. Sign me up. I want to work with you right away. Okay. So if only 3% are ready to say yes to working with you right now, and 30% of the people don't believe that they have a problem, then we really want to hone in and get focused on a process that is attracting the right client, nurturing them, because if we're not nurturing and building a relationship, then what we're doing is we're actually trying to take a stranger into a buyer. And that doesn't work either, right? That's where we're like, oh, let me just give you a free coaching session. You have known nothing what I do, but let me just try to convince you or persuade you. So if we're attracting and nurturing, but we're not, or if we're attracting and inviting without that nurture piece, then that doesn't work either. Okay. If we are attracting and nurturing, but we never make an offer, a sale can't happen, right? How many of us are so comfortable with attracting and nurturing, and then we never actually ask people to work with us, right? It's like crazy. So we need to also get comfortable in having a heart-centered way to invite people to work with us. Because if we don't invite people to work with us, there's no way that they can get the transformation that they desire. And really what we're doing is we're saying, I see you, I hear you, I see that you're struggling over here, and I'm just going to leave you over here on Pain Island. We end up abandoning the client. We don't want to do that. Okay. So we need all three pieces. We need to attract the right client. We need to have a way that we are serving and nurturing that client. And we need to have a heart-centered way that we are inviting clients to work with us. So there are two ways, and there are only two ways to create visibility. Only two, promise. There is either you paying or you doing the work yourself. One way is called organic. The other way is paid leads. So organic lead generation or paid lead generation. That's the only way that you are going to be able to create visibility in the world, is either you doing it for yourself or you paying somebody else to do it for you. That's it. Now, until you are at a certain income level in your business, you should not be paying for leads at all. No ads. As a matter of fact, I don't pay for ads. I have a multi-six-figure business. The coaches that I work with have million-dollar businesses, and they all do it organically. And that's what I'm about, is organically. And within the organic market, what that means is that we are focusing on cultivating relationships with people. We're not paying for ads. There are multiple ways that we can do this, but really, if we take a look at organic lead generation to bring people into our ecosystem, there's only two ways to do that too. There's one-to-one, or there's one-to-many. So on your 2 ways to attract your ideal clients organically, number 1, underneath that on your workbook is one-to-one. You're either in a conversation with somebody face-to-face, or in Zoom, or with somebody that you're meeting, or you're in a one-to-many format. This right here is a one-to-many format, me being one, you guys being many. And we're going to talk about the other one-to-many ways that you can also do that as well. I'm going to share with you both, okay? Because we get to do both, right? It's not just, we really do want to organically have both of these areas. So When we are trying to invite somebody into our ecosystem, invite people into having an experience of us, attracting the right client, the first thing that we want to start with is some sort of free value. Remember, service first, right? And so I want you to think about a freebie. And in your workbook, I've given you 20 different freebie ideas. So when we get to those, I'm going to help you with that. But we want to have something that is going to help our ideal clients, the ones that we can most serve, our best clients out there, raise their hand and go, that's me. I want that. Okay. So if you are a health coach and you are trying to help people lose weight, then maybe a freebie might be, my top 10 recipes for igniting your metabolism. That is a freebie that is going to speak directly to the client that you most want to serve. And so when you put that out there and when you share that, that is going to attract your ideal client. And she's basically going to be like, yep, that's me. I want that. Beautiful. So we know that she's going to then download your freebie. And this second part that we want to work, I want you to fill in the blanks, is we want to start with a freebie that directs you into a Facebook group. Okay, almost all of you are inside of my Facebook group. And there's a reason for that. It's because it allows me to cultivate community. It allows me to cultivate community. And that's important to me. That's how I want to build my business. I love creating connections. I love relationships. I love building relationships. I love seeing my people. I love cultivating community. Okay, so a Facebook group is going to allow you to grow, know, like, and trust very quickly because they are going to see you consistently. You're going to be visible inside your Facebook group. Remember visibility, right? The other thing that I want to share about visibility is that it's going to take people anywhere from 7 to 21 touches before anybody takes an action. So that means that we have to be consistently visible where our ideal client is. Lots. Consistently is the key word. Not just doing a post here, just doing a post there, okay? So what this is going to do, it's going to give your potential clients a valuable experience, a valuable experience. It's going to allow you to serve them. It's going to allow you to teach. It's going to allow you to share your zone of genius. It's going to allow them to help you to help them with something. And that builds know, like, trust very, very quickly, regardless of whether they say yes that day, tomorrow, 2 weeks from now, a month from now. It doesn't matter. We're playing a long game here. In order to build a sustainable and a profitable business, we create both a short game, which is creating quick cash in our business, but we also want to create a sustainable business and play the long game for that too. So 2 different things that we're doing as we're building and generating our business. Okay, so when we have a freebie, one of the things that we want to do is to have what I like to call a landing page or an opt-in page. All of you know what that is, right? You have all given somebody your name, your email address, and downloaded the freebie. Okay, so this is important. And the reason why is because that freebie allows you to bring people into your ecosystem on your email list, not just in your Facebook group. And I want to share why this is really important. You might have heard the term email marketing, okay? So email marketing is a component of your business. It's not the only way to do business. It's not the only lever that you're going to pull. It is a component of your business that allows you to serve and nurture your ideal client. And it allows you to own the list. So under why an email list, number one is because you own it. If you ever get locked out of Facebook or Instagram or something like that, you can't take your followers with you. If you decided that you didn't want to be on Instagram anymore and you only wanted to focus on Facebook, you can't take all of your Instagram followers into Facebook and vice versa. So when you have an email list, it allows you to own your list. Okay, I actually almost got locked. I got locked out of my Facebook account this morning, and I was like, glad I got an email list. Glad I can let everybody know, if they can't reach me, and I don't know what triggered it, something triggered it when I made a post, and we think somebody is masquerading as you, so we're locking your account. and you need to go through these steps to unlock it. Luckily, I unlocked it. But if I hadn't unlocked it, then that would have been a big problem for me. Right. And so we want to make sure that we have an email list. The other thing the reason why we want to have an email list is because it's for your ideal clients. It's for your ideal clients. The people that are interested in what it is that you have are going to be on your email list because they're the ones that are saying yes and raising their hand to your opt-in or to your freebie or to your challenge or to a nurture event. We'll talk more about all of those things later. This audience, number 3, means that they're warm. They're not cold. They're not strangers that have no idea what it is that you do. If they're on your email list, then that means that they've already been a stranger and they've come into your world as a viewer. They've gotten your freebie. They're getting some value from you. You're serving them. Maybe they're in your Facebook group. Maybe they're not yet. Okay. But it's going to allow you to nurture relationships that way. Okay, so you get to nurture your relationships with an email to your list, to the community that you're building, as well as to your Facebook group. And here's the 5th piece that I want to share with you, and this is really important. They are the least likely to disappear. Why is that? Because on Facebook, we all know the algorithm. There's an Instagram algorithm. There's a Facebook. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes people see things. Sometimes they don't, right? Well, you could make a post and not everybody is going to see it, right? And so we don't know if that person is even going to see your second post, your third post, your first or fourth post. Now there's ways around that. And I'll share, how we can become more visible on that. But if you have your email list, if they don't see the email one day, you're going to send one out another day. They're still there. They're not going anywhere. They're still on your email list. They're still receiving it. They might just not have opened it yet. Now, the thing with, social media platforms is that typically the algorithm works when you are interacting with each other. And so there is a greater potential, right? Samantha says there's a direct line to them. Absolutely. There's a direct line to your ideal client. Your email list also does many things. It is going to overflow into multiple areas, which is really amazing. It's really great. So it's going to overflow into your social media reach. It's going to be double. It is going to allow you to, it's going to overflow into any followers. And it is also going to overflow into any leads into your ecosystem. Email marketing is not dead. Facebook is not dead. Social media is not dead. All of these things will work. And we want to make sure that we are working them in a way that feels really good and in alignment with you and not all of the things. So the 2 main things that I focus on in my business is email and my Facebook group. The social media platform that I show up on is Facebook. And I also have email. So those are the 2 main things that I use to bring people into my ecosystem, to attract my ideal client, to serve them with valuable content, and invite people to work with me, right? Remember, build, nurture, invite. Build, nurture, invite. Those are the 3 things. If you're ever unsure of what to do, come back to what am I doing today to build my audience, to create visibility, to nurture them and give them value, and to invite them to work with me. Those 3 things. Okay, so now we're into ways to organically attract your ideal client one-to-one. Okay, so how do we do that? How do we organically attract our ideal client one-to-one? One way is we just get to ask them, right? We forget about that, but we can just ask, hey, would you like my free handout on XYZ? Would you like to come to my free training? Would you like, right? So we just get to ask, and that's just a one-on-one. It can happen in direct messenger. It can happen in Facebook Messenger. It can happen in text. It could happen on the phone. It can happen in person, one-on-one. The second way is we can organically attract our ideal client when somebody messages you. Okay, so when somebody messages you, maybe someone says, hey, so glad to see you. And you can be like, great, yeah, so glad to see you too. And there's a conversation that gets going, right? And they message you, and then you can invite them to, have a free experience. When someone emails you, this is a great ninja tip if you're not doing this already. in your signature of your email, have a link to either your freebie or your Facebook group. So that means every time you send an email from your personal email account, there's going to be that little signature down at the bottom. It's not hard to do. It just depends on your email, whether you're using Gmail or Yahoo or whatever email platform you're using. You can have that there. Hey, grab my free XYZ thing. Okay. And then you can also, invite people that you meet at an event. Right. So think about a networking event. Maybe you're going to a conference and you're meeting other people. And you can just share what it is that you do. You can also invite people to collaborate with you. Okay. So those are ways that we organically attract our ideal client one-to-one. There are more, but I'm just going to share 4 with you today. Now, the ways to organically attract your ideal client one-to-many, I actually have a heck of a lot more because I do this regularly. So I've got about 8, even though I only gave you room for 4, I'm going to share 8 bonus. You guys are here, you get 8 ways. Number 1, social media, right? LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, choose one platform. Choose just one platform. Tanya says, makes sense, but I'm starting from 0, overwhelming. Okay, yes, of course, absolutely, I get it. And Tanya, you're inside Activate Abundance, and we're going to take this step by step. So I'm really kind of like, I'm giving you a lot of information right now, and just know that I've got you, and we're going to take this one step at a time, okay? So social media, you want to pick one platform. Do not try to be on all the platforms. Pick one, show up there consistently. Just one, show up consistently. I promise you do not need to be on them all. Get one going really, really well. The reason why I choose Facebook is just because of the way that it does groups. I love groups. That's how I've built and developed my health coaching business, by cultivating connections and community with collaborations. That's my zone of genius. That's what I really love doing. And so Facebook works really great for that, for groups. Okay. And also, when you have a Facebook group, your Facebook group is only for your ideal client, where Instagram or LinkedIn, people may, or even your business page on Facebook, it doesn't matter. Like, they may or they may not be your ideal client. They could be your mom, they could be your sister, they could be your cousin, and that's not really your ideal client. So it allows us to cultivate a very focused community. Okay. Speaking on someone's stage is another way. Okay. So speaking on someone's stage could be a way that you actually show up. My boys are just saying goodbye to me. Speaking on someone's stage. So, you have seen many, different coaches that might have conferences. So one way is, this is where we're talking about being in a one-to-many format. And we want to also leverage audiences, leverage somebody else's audience. So think about a conference that your ideal client might go to. What type of conference might she attend that would serve her, that would allow you to also be there and maybe share, a little piece of your zone of genius. For those of you that are writers, you could do a blog, okay? You could, for those of you that like to speak and like to teach, you could be on a podcast, okay? All of these things, though, whether you're on social media, whether you're speaking on someone's stage, whether you are doing a podcast or a blog, we're always going back to that one freebie, right? That is going to invite people into our ecosystem, onto our email list. And that freebie is actually going to guide people into our Facebook group too. Okay, so on that freebie, somewhere on the freebie, you're going to create a link that invites people into your Facebook group. Remember, this is a process. You're not meant to do all of these. So I totally get it. Like, Tanya's like, holy shit, like, I don't even know where to start. I get it. And these are ideas, because some of you love to write. Some of you like to speak, right? Some of you like to do more in-person networking things. There are multiple ways. I just want you to see that there are multiple ways that you get to do this. Okay. And what is important is not doing all of them, but deciding which one fits well for you. What fits good to you? What feels good to you? You could be a guest for others in a Facebook group or a paid program. So going into someone else's Facebook group and doing a Facebook swap. And you're looking for other Facebook groups or people to collaborate with that serve your ideal client in a different way than you do. You both serve the same client, but you serve them in one way and they serve them in another way. For example, an acupuncturist and a massage therapist, two different things, but most likely they're going to solve the same problem of helping somebody get out of pain, right? Health coaching and conscious non-toxic products. Thinking about Samantha here, right? Two people that are helping people live healthier, more vibrant lives, doing different things, serving the same client in different ways. Okay, so you can collaborate with each other and you can go into somebody's group and share, 3 tips or share your freebie or do a little interview or something with them. And then you bring them into your group. That is one of the quickest ways to increase people into your audience, into your ecosystem. You can actually increase it by hundreds overnight when you are collaborating together. Okay, collaborations are fun too. And everybody wants to, well, I don't want to say everybody. Most people want to collaborate. Most people want to build and grow their business. If they don't want to build and grow their business, then you don't want to collaborate with them anyways. Samantha said, one thing you said earlier that I really loved but didn't jot down here was when you don't make invites, you're abandoning them on Pain Island. Yeah, we don't want to abandon them on Pain Island, right? Because we're uncomfortable about inviting them to work with us. I don't know what to say. What if they say no? What if they say yes? What if you're being a stand for them and you're helping them get out of pain? Yeah. Okay, another thing that you can do, if you already have a website, you don't have to go out and build a website. If you already have a website, you could put your freebie there. Just little freebie opt-in, something that pops up quickly. Hey, grab my top 10 tips for boosting your metabolism. Beautiful. Okay, what that does, again, it gives value. People see it, and then it's going to bring them into your ecosystem. My favorite is nurture events. My favorite is nurture events. This is a nurture event right now. I'm giving lots of value. I'm sharing, I'm serving. It's bringing new people into my community and it's allowing me to serve. And you can do this in person too, right? So think about a signature talk or, before I was a business coach, I was collaborating with acupuncturists, massage therapists, integrative doctors, and I was able to go in and do a nurture event, which was basically a free talk for their patients in health and wellness. Okay, so that's another, remember, one to many. Summits, if you want to be on a summit, there's people that are always looking for summits, and there are always people looking for podcast guests as well. Right, Samantha? Samantha has a podcast, so she can be like, yay, right? Yes, cool. Hey, Nicole. So summits that you can be on. If you really are bold and you want to do your own summit, you could also do that too. I've done 2 of them and they're really, really fun, but they're a lot of work. So I suggest waiting a little bit on that. Tanya, no summits yet. The other thing that you can do, which is a one-to-many, is you can write for publications. So you can create articles, right? I am actually an executive contributor for the House of Preeminence magazine, which is a digital magazine. So that is another way that I serve. I give value. And then typically in my article, it is going to invite somebody to download something for free that is going to help them. That builds know, like, trust. And then the last thing that I'm going to share with you guys today, this is actually a number 9, is if you really want to, if you love writing, you could write a book. One-to-many. Getting your zone of genius, what you're passionate about, down in writing and sharing that in book form. So all of this to say there are multiple ways that you can choose what works for you. What I teach inside of Activate Abundance, which is my 6-month business accelerator program, is how to do nurture events consistently, whether you're doing an in-person event, a signature talk, or whether you want to do something like you see me doing today, just like a 1-day event or a 3-day event or a 7-day event or anything like that. Totally up to you. That allows you to build know, like, trust very, very quickly and guide somebody along the client pathway from stranger to viewer to somebody who is a potential client to somebody who then is really interested. And if they're interested in what it is that you have to offer, you can invite them into a quick call, not a discovery session. There's a difference. And then they can become a buyer. What's the difference between a discovery session and a clarity call? When somebody gets on a clarity call with you, it's quick. It's about 15 to 20 minutes, and they know why they're getting on the call with you. They have already gotten value from you. They've already heard what it is that you've had to say. They already know what the offer is, right? So there's no convincing or persuading. They're hopping on a call with you because they want to learn more about how it is that you can help them. They're not hopping on a discovery session with you for you to give them a free coaching session and help them get unstuck, when in the background, what you're really trying to do is to sell them your 90-day program, which feels out of alignment. Okay, so those are the ways that we want to ideally, organically rather, attract our ideal client. So where do we find these people, right? That is one of the questions that I get all the time, but where do I find my ideal client? And they're everywhere. They really are. So let me just say there is an overabundance of clients for you. And this is where I gave you the well of opportunity here. And in the very center is personal connections. Personal connections. So who do you know? Who do you know? Who have you worked with? Who do you know? You know, that's where I started when I was kind of going, where could I find my ideal client? Well, who do I know? I have a friend who is a holistic nurse. Who does she know? Right? So then we get into personal, that 1% connection. She put me in touch with an integrative doctor, who put me in touch with a digestive health associate, who put me in touch with this other person, right? So this is now when we're starting to build connections, referrals. Then there's a community connection. Who's in our community, right? Or a community that we're a part of, right? So for those of you that are inside Activate Abundance, you have a community here. And so you can absolutely connect with each other and collaborate with each other and build incredible value that creates ripple effects, that creates abundance for everybody. We get to create win-win-wins. It's not just a win-win, it's a win-win-win for everybody from a place of generosity, not competition. Okay. And then there's the universe, which is the places that you might research around you. Okay. So you're going to start from the inner circle and think about all the different ways that you could actually find your ideal client. And what I like to do is to invite people to just begin to kind of write down, where do you think your person is? And think about your social media platform. Where is she hanging out? And if she's hanging out on Facebook, where in Facebook is she hanging out? Is she in another type of Facebook group? Is she specifically in a Facebook group to learn meditation techniques? Is she in another person's community? Like where is she? Okay, because that's going to allow you then to go to those and to become a part of those communities and build value within those communities. Okay, and then you also have a checklist. So you have a checklist of where to find ideal clients. Okay, and that falls into multiple different categories. Some of your ideal clients are going to be past clients. Maybe they've worked with you in some way or shape before. And so you can invite them to work with you again, either as a private client. Maybe they're a group program. They went through a group program with you and you're inviting to be a private client. Maybe they're a private client with you and you want to invite them into a group. That's one way that you can find your ideal clients. Maybe they are, your class or your program participants. They could be any type of training or course participants that you're with, workshop attendees, any type of paid product customers as well. And then your current clients, right? So your current clients are also going to help you because the clients that you work with, you want more of them, right? And so the people that you love are also going to be surrounded by people that they love. And so you can also ask your current clients, who do you know who might be a good fit to join us in this community? Okay. Potential clients that you've spoken to in maybe the past 6 to 9 months who didn't say yes at the time. Just because someone didn't say yes 6 to 9 months or a year ago or even 2 years ago doesn't mean that they might not be ready now. So again, those are people that already have an experience of know, like, trust with you. And I have to tell you, there have been several times where I've asked somebody and they've been a no, not yet. Dawn's here, right? Dawn's raised her hand. She's like, yes. Tanya, it was no, not yet. And now they're here. So But you don't want to, again, abandon your client. Sometimes there's different time periods and they're at different places. And so just because they said no doesn't mean that they're not a yes for a later time. So just stay in connection with them. Treat them like you would a friend, because you are, right? You want to cultivate conscious connections. It's not just about getting the sale. It's about supporting somebody. Groups that you're a part of. So we talked about this already. Networking groups, hobby groups. Ooh, is another one. Hobby groups and business development groups. So in my local area in Charlotte, one of the places that I did a lot of connections and collaborations with was a small group business association. And they had meetings once a week. And while I didn't go every single week, what I did do is I went often enough to meet people, to establish connections where, again, who was there? Acupuncturists, chiropractors, massage therapists. There were also painting companies and, other printing companies and things like that too. But the beauty is that even if you're making a connection with somebody who might not be your ideal client, they might know somebody who is. Right. And as a matter of fact, I had a connection that I had developed at that networking group, and he sold a whole bunch of different swag products. So his company was to put your name and logo on. So he obviously wasn't my ideal client, but he said, you know what? My sister works at this company and she does some lunch and learns for her people. I bet you would be really a good fit. And so I went to a lunch and learn and did, a little health talk for them. And that was amazing. So even though he wasn't my ideal client, he knew somebody. And so those networking and groups, and even hobby groups, right? Cultivating connections. This is what I do. This is how I serve people. And they might be like, oh, my sister, oh, my wife, oh, my cousin, whatever, right? Visibility. Groups you've spoken to. So workshop attendees who did not sign up for what you offered at the time. Maybe they are somebody who signed up for a webinar or a video series who didn't say yes at the time. That's okay. Maybe a past speaking engagement audience or organizations, right? So we want to, again, still have them. They're still in our ecosystem. So many times what we end up doing is thinking that we just need to create new, and we don't look at what we have right in front of us right now. So I want you to take a look at what do you have access to right now. Teresa says, can you explain a bit more what you mean by the outer circle, the universe, the research? Yeah, so I'm happy to help you with that. So is Teresa still here? Oh, there she is. Okay, great. Thank you. I'm like, where is she? So yeah, places that you would research. So that might be, for example, where would I go? Since I'm a business coach and I like to help women build and grow their businesses, what might I research as local things that are in my community? Or for example, there's Women Entrepreneurs, Inc., and they have a collective group of people that meet in Charleston and Charlotte and Raleigh. And I know that that's a local group. So that would be a place that I was researched to see, hey, are there any other health coaches, life coaches, holistic practitioners that are also a part of that community, right? So think about places that you would research where your potential client might be. That would also be fun for you to go, right? I mean, sometimes we go to these events and we're like, yeah, I'm not a good fit. The Chamber of Commerce didn't work for me. I'm like, yeah. I invested in a 1-year program, or not a program, but a 1-year group, and it just didn't do anything for me. So we get to try, right? But the beauty is that you get to build this business. You're a CEO. You just get to make decisions, get the feedback, and then you're like, okay, yep, this is where I want to stay. Nope, onward to the next thing, right? So we get to take that inspired action. Again, we talked about people who already serve your ideal clients. So thinking about collaborations, right? Again, a chiropractor for me as a health coach was interested in alternative health, and they were going to be more open to my way of serving people with nutrition and with lifestyle than maybe somebody else who wasn't open to that type of training. So I looked for like-minded people that served my ideal client in a different way. And then friends and family. Friends and family can always be a source of value. Always be a source of value. For example, I just messaged my neighbor actually last night, and I said, hey, Patrick, who do you know that does good body work in the area. My car, has a dent in it and I want to get that repaired. He's my friend. I'm going to reach out to him. He also knows what I do. So if he runs across anybody, that's going to work both ways. So creating visibility, allowing us to, again, focus on the three main things, which is the traffic. How are we inviting people into our ecosystem via a traffic, which is a platform that we decide that we're going to be on, right? So what platform, what social media platform or in-person platform do we want to be on? How are we bringing people into our ecosystem and nurturing them, which is leads? And then the third one is the invitation piece. How are we inviting people to work with us? That is a system that you get to dive in on and get that working like a really well-oiled machine, and you get to put that on repeat. Okay, and that's really what we want to do, because when you're focused on those three things of being visible, serving your audience generously, and then inviting them to work with you in a way that feels really, really good to you, again, that is what is going to create a sustainable and a profitable business. And it can happen quickly. It doesn't have to take years. It really doesn't. It might. I'm not saying that anybody gets overnight success. It took me, 6 months before I hit six figures, but it may also take you a year. It might take you 2 years. It just depends. How are you showing up? Who are you showing up as? Are you taking inspired and consistent action? Are you keeping yourself simple? And that's one of the reasons why it's really important. And I will always, say this, and I walk my talk, to have a mentor or a guide or some wise counsel to guide you, because it is too darn easy to get into overwhelm and to try to sneak out the back door, right? And not do the thing. That's one of the things that I say with my clients. Once you're in my program, back door is closed, you're not getting out. Like, we're going forward. We're only going forward. That's it. No back door. Tanya's like, shit, what did I just sign up for? Onward, right? And being a part of community. Community is really valuable because we all learn from each other, right? One person might have an idea and say, hey, this is what I did this week. And that's going to give you an inspiration to do that. So, I like to say that the answer that we're looking for is also in the room within all of us, right? So being a part of community, having wise counsel, someone that can guide you so that it doesn't feel like, holy crap, where do I start? Right. So for those of you that are feeling like, holy crap, where do I start? I want you to go to the next sheet, which is freebies that convert. And I want you to take a look at those freebies. And I want you to circle 3 that stand out to you, or put a little star next to it. And you have about 21 different ideas. I want you to circle 3. And then from those 3, I want you to just pick your favorite. Which one would be fun for you to create? Which one would be fun for you to create? Which one would feel like the easiest for you to do? Not the one that you think is gonna get the best conversion rate, but what is the one that is gonna allow you to have fun doing it? Maybe you teach meditation and you want to do a meditation series, and so you could record something. Maybe you want to do a workbook or a checklist. Maybe there's a free tip sheet, or you already have a free journal. Think about what you have already in your arsenal too, in your toolbox. You all have access to multitudes of things. So this isn't about, oh my God, I've got to create something else. Take a look at what you have and see what you can put together that would allow you to create something that would be fun for you to create. And these are all things that we know work. So let me say all of these work. You're not going to make a wrong choice. The only way that you can get this wrong is if you don't do anything with it, if you don't take any inspired action on it. That's the only way that this isn't going to work for you. I promise if you pick one and you do something with it, it will work for you. Okay, so pick one, and then I want you to ask yourself, what is it that you need in order to create it? What is it that you need in order to create it? Are there any resources that you need? Is there anybody that you might need to ask? Is there any support that you need to learn? And we get to also take the perfectionist and put her in the closet. It is more important that this gets created than if it looks absolutely perfect. It does not need to look like the workbook that you've downloaded for me. Let me just say that. I've been doing this for years, and my first workbook looked nothing like this. It was wonky, things were out of center. You're probably going to find spelling errors in here somewhere. Okay, it's not perfect. So it doesn't have to be perfect, okay? But ask yourself, all right, what do I need to know in order to get this out? Who do I need to talk to? Who could I talk to? Is there somebody that might be able to support me? Do I need to learn how to open up pages on my computer? Do I want to, check out Canva? By the way, here's a great resource for you. I create all of my workbooks by using a template that is put out by Biz Template Babe. It's $47, and it is called her ebook and lead magnet template. And I love it. And it allows you to create beautiful things very, very, very quickly and easily. Okay. I'm going to take a drink of water, and I'm going to take some questions before we go on this next step. What are some questions that are popping up for you around creating this lead magnet or where to get in front of your ideal client? Okay. And yet,
I feel like I'm formulating my question.
yeah.
So it's not like fully there, but maybe I can talk it through it and you'll see what I'm speaking to. But in the recording download, I'm thinking of that one specifically for my vibe and embodiment program, which is the movement program. And I'm trying to think of, for a recording download, would that be just taking them through maybe a couple different exercises to see where they feel stiff or not confident moving in their body, and just kind of like an awareness building exercise of like, how do these movements feel for you? Or I guess I'm just trying to see like how to focus it so it's short but also valuable.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be great. Another thing that you could do, Samantha, though, is that you've done this so often that I'm sure you've got some recordings. And so you could also do that. So rather than creating a brand new one, you could actually either edit the one that you have or just use the one that you had.
Again, we always think we got to create something new. You're so right. I do have so many things that I could just like put up there.
Yeah, no problem, Tanya. Go. Good luck with your apartment. Yay! Calling it a new apartment. Teresa says, do I recommend being listed in coaching directories? I haven't found that being effective for me directly, but I wouldn't discount it. Like if you're getting an intuitive hit and you think that that might be helpful, sure. I have been in coaching directories before. I haven't gotten any clients from those coaching directories. I think it's a little bit more difficult because you don't have direct access to the people that you might be getting in front of, right? So it's harder to get them to have a great experience with you and to really build know, like, trust. So while it wouldn't hurt to be listed, it's not one that I would put my or invest my time or money in. I wouldn't pay to be in a coaching directory. Yeah. Cool. What else was I going to say? Repurposing things. Yes. So repurpose what you have is a great way to do it. Yeah. Teresa.
I have a question about the creating the journal. That's very, I guess, kind of calling to me. I never really thought of it before, but how do you go about doing something like that?
Yeah.
Like, would you do it in Canva, or are there other programs?
Yeah, I would do it in Canva. I do everything in Canva, all of my workbooks. As a matter of fact, all of my group program materials that I teach, all of those are created in Canva. And when you go into Canva, you could actually even type in templates for like journals, and they're going to download a whole bunch of journal templates for you. So that is actually going to be a really easy way. You would just then edit like whatever questions, or maybe you might even find a journal there with the questions that you want. Yeah. Now, as far as like a journal that you would sell, that would be a little bit different. That would be, something where you would actually want, to get a printer, and that's going to take a little bit more research, and that you probably don't want to do until you already have an audience that you know is going to be a buyer for that, because it does cost somewhere between $10,000 to $20,000 to, get journals like that printed. So it can be expensive. Awesome. Deanna, did you have a question for me? She must have had to pop off. Okay. All right. Cool.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I've actually been, and it's cool that you just brought that up, is that sometimes when we create something that we have to pay a little bit for, I was just wondering, like, there's like ebooks that I'm in the process of learning how to publish, Kindle, whatever, KDP.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that I came up with yesterday when I was speaking with Vicki.
Yeah.
And they're small ticket items like $3.99. Would you consider that instead of a freebie?
Yeah, so books or ebooks like that are really great, ways to bring people into your ecosystem for sure. And what you could do with that, Dawn, is if somebody buys the book, inside of the book, and you probably have seen this a lot in books, especially thought leader books, where they guide you to download their free resource, right? So it'll take you to a website where you can download a free resource, or there's a QR code where you can download a free resource. There's an intention for that, because what that does is it takes you to their website, and what are they doing? They're getting your name and your email address so that they can put you into their ecosystem inside of their email system. So that is what it does. So whether you're reading at Gabby Bernstein or Marianne Williamson or whatever, in all of those books, whether it's at the beginning, hey, take this assessment and see where you fall on it, or hey, take this quiz, or hey, download my freebie, XY. It's all, the purpose is to bring people into your ecosystem. Yeah, so regardless of whether it's free or it's a paid thing, books and little ebooks like that do the same. Yeah. Yes, the name of the template it's called the ebook and landing page, and it is called Biz Template Babe, biztemplatebabe.com. Yeah. Yep. Thank you, Elise. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Okay. So I've added some bonus material in here for you guys to talk about, because I told you we were going to talk about a process, right? So we talked about different ways that we can get in front of our ideal client. Now we want to actually implement and decide what is the process that we want to do. And so I'm giving you a sample of what I create, and it's actually what I teach inside of Activate Abundance, which is a 90-day nurture plan. Instead of just thinking that you've got to do this whole thing for the entire year, let's chunk it down to quarters, because something magical happens when we chunk it down into quarters. We can see that we're going to follow up and we're going to stay consistent for 90 days. And when you're doing that, you are going to get an outcome with that. So one of the things that I like to do is decide, what would be a recipe, a nurture recipe that I would want to put into place so that I am showing up, I'm creating visibility, I'm nurturing my ideal clients, and I'm inviting people to work with me. Okay. And so what I like to do is do a Facebook Live inside of my Facebook group one time a week. So if you don't have a Facebook group yet, not a problem. You could go live on your personal page. You could go live on Instagram if you like video. Okay. Video is a quick way, again, for people to see you, to see your energy, to have an experience of you. And so I really do recommend that even if video feels a little scary right now, that you just start doing something to get more comfortable with it, because video really is what people are gravitating to. People want to see you. They want to hear you. Okay. And that, again, creates relationships a lot quicker than just people having to read lots of text. We know that the videos get opened more than just the text, or the photos get more views than just the text. Okay. So for me, my recipe is I go live once a week inside of my Facebook group. I send an email to my list once a week, and I do a freebie once a week. Easy. Boop, boop, boop. Facebook Live, freebie, email. And so remember I said the two platforms that I use are Facebook and email. So I took those two and I said, okay, now what am I going to do to create visibility, to nurture my ideal clients and invite them to work with me? That's what I get to do. Okay, so live once a week, and then an email, and then a freebie. And it's all around the same theme. It's not 3 different themes, it's all around the same theme. So that's why I have on the workbook, week 1 theme, week 2 theme, week 3 theme, week 4 theme. So for example, if you're a health coach and you want to talk about foods that help you increase your metabolism, you could do a Facebook Live around that. Then you could take that same material, put it in a document. So you told people now on video, these are the top 10 foods that boost your metabolism. Great, put that in a document. That's your freebie for the week. And you can even take pieces of that and that can become your content. So we're repurposing it all. We want to keep it simple, right? If it gets too complicated, we're not going to follow through and we're not going to do it. So we're going to keep it simple. And then 30 minutes a day, around 5 days a week for me, I personally reach out to people just to connect. Hey, how are you? So glad you're here in my Facebook group. How did you like the handout? What resonated with you most about the training? Okay. And then I also, respond to any posts. So I also do 3 relevant or valuable educational posts. And I'm going to explain what are the types of content, how can you understand more about the types of content that you can post that creates value and engagement, and that's relative. So again, we want to pick one main theme for the week, do your Facebook Live, repurpose some of that into your freebie, repurpose that into an email. If you want, you could even take your Facebook Live and post that on YouTube. Great, now you've got your Facebook Live or on YouTube, you could share that. That could even be a freebie. Multiple ways that we get to repurpose what it is that we're doing to build and generate business. Okay. And then once a month, I like to do some sort of training or a masterclass that gives value. It could be one day, like here, even though this is a 3-day event with a bonus masterclass. Awesome. So how do we continue the relationship in our groups or even in email? And this is where we want to take a look at the different types of content that we can use that cultivates relationships, and it also attracts your ideal client. And so these 4 different types of content that you would create, you can use in multiple places. It could be a post on Instagram, it could be a post on Facebook, it could be an email post, okay? It could be any part of this, but these 4 different types of posts are the way that we actually show up and we're visible, right? So again, pick your platform. For me, Facebook and email. And then think about, the 4 different types of posts. One would be like maybe a personal behind the scenes post. Something personal, non-business related. If you look to my Facebook page or even in my community, you'll see I've got, a picture of my kids. They were graduating. I took my kids out to brunch recently. It's just a personal something so that people can see behind the scenes a little bit. Again, they want to know who you are. If they're going to invest in you, they want to know, well, tell me more about you. Like, are you a mom? Are you married? Are you not married? Do you live in the tropics? Do you live in the winter? Like, where are you? Like, people want to know. We all want to know, right? Yeah. And usually this is going to be a shorter post. Okay, so again, you've got all of this here in your workbook. And then there's an educational post. And an educational post is where you're going to teach something, right? So there's a post that is going out this afternoon that is teaching something similar to what I taught to you guys today, just in a more condensed format of traffic, leads, and conversions, right? So we talked about traffic, leads, and conversions, and I just turned that into a post because those are the 3 specific things that we need to focus on and that are the most important income generators in our business. not the website, not the fancy branding photos, not the Facebook ads. You know, we want to focus on how are we generating visibility and income into our business. And so we want to focus on those income generating activities. Then we've got an invitation post. So an invitation post might be a post that is answering a question around what you might help people with. Maybe it's talking about a training or a topic, right? So some of my posts in the morning today, if you are in the Facebook group, were an invitation to come join me for the VIP day. It was just giving people an invitation. Okay, and then client results. So thinking about who are some of the people that you've worked with that you've helped them get results. That also creates credibility and it establishes you as an authority in your field. Okay, even if you don't have a client that you're working with right now, chances are you've worked with a practice client or you've helped a family member. And so you can still share those stories. Those all count. Or you can share your own personal journey, right? Most of the time, I would say 99% of the time, the clients that we are supporting, our ideal client is a previous version of ourselves. And so if we keep that in mind, whatever it is that we've got going on is going to be valuable and relevant to them too. Okay. Now, when you are taking a look or mapping out your content, what you want to focus on are three main things. And you always want to just keep in mind when you're creating any of this, what are the challenges and results that you help your client with? Right, so again, I mentioned earlier, we want the information to be valuable, relevant, and congruent to our ideal client, right? You guys are here to learn how to create a client attraction process, not to learn how to make amazing North Carolina barbecue or sourdough bread, which I do, by the way. But you're not here for that, so I'm not teaching that, right? If I invited you in here and I'm like, hey guys, all right, like I'm gonna teach you how to make amazing Carolina barbecue, you'd be like, what? Wait a minute, where am I? Right, so valuable, relevant, and congruent. So we want to keep that in mind. Who are we writing this for? We also want to keep in mind, what is your offer? Where do you want to guide them? What is your offer? Is it just to comment and say, hey, I see you, I hear you? Is it to invite them to a freebie? Is it to invite them to a masterclass? Is it to just get them to raise their hand so that you can see people in your ecosystem that might be your ideal client? We want to have just one in mind. Like, what do we want them to do? Think of this as like your call to action. And then who is the most ideal client? Not just anybody who would buy. Who's the most ideal client? Who is the person that you would love to serve? Like the one who is going to get the best results and that are looking for a solution. Remember, they're in the slow lane or the fast lane. We're not talking about the sidewalkers here. Remember, we talked about the difference. This is not somebody that you have to convince or persuade that they have a problem that you can solve. Those are sidewalkers. The people that we get to talk to is an ideal client, and what makes them an ideal client is that they are actively searching for the solution that you provide. And I promise they're out there. If they weren't out there, you wouldn't have it on your heart to serve them. So let me just say that. You have it on your heart to serve them because they're out there and they are actively looking for you. We just need to be visible and help them find us and say, hey, I'm here. I see you. I get you. I see you're struggling with this experience over here. I want to help you get over here. And I'd love to partner with you to see if you would like my help around that. Okay. So if this is something that you find valuable and that you would like my support around implementing, this is where I get to invite you and I get to be the model for the invitation to join me inside the Activate Abundance program. That is my 6-month business accelerator program. And this is a portion of what it is that I teach. It's all done live, which means that you've got live access to me. This is not just a whole bunch of recorded videos that you download that you have to try to figure out, what to do with. Then it's all live. And that's important to me. And I only take 15 women into this program because it's a very high touch experience. I want to make sure that I've got my eyes, my ears, and my heart on your business with you. Okay. And I take you through the 6 pillars, which is understanding who your ideal client is. so that you can create content, you can speak and message that's going to attract your ideal client, and that you can serve them in a way that feels really, really good to you, that is going to allow you to invite them to work with you. Okay, this is not about being a better salesperson or overcoming objections. This is about how are you structuring and creating a simple, repeatable process that you are going to get working so that you get to hone and master. Okay. And so that's what I teach inside of Activate Abundance. All of these are foundational principles that I return to even over and over and over again. So whatever it is that you learn, you're going to be able to apply to get you to 6 figures, to multiple 6 figures, even 7 figures. I promise that even the multiple 7 figures and 8-figure people come back to the foundations that I teach. We all have to do the same. Get in front of people, share with them what we do, invite people to work with us. They're doing the same thing. The only difference is that they're probably paying a team to do it. And we don't need to do that. Especially not until we're at least at $500,000 in our business. And even then, I'm not into paid ads or all of that, but I do have a team. One of them is here. Samantha is here. Samantha Schmuck. I'm so glad to have her here. She's one of our experts. We do bring guest experts into our program because it's allowed me to work with all of these experts by Dawn and bring them inside of the community that is going to allow them to teach their zone of genius. So Samantha is all about embodiment. Thank you, Elise. Elise just popped the link in for Activate Abundance so that you can check that out. Samantha is about helping us stay in a high vibe, tapping into our own body, listening to ourselves and to our bodies so that we are not burning ourselves out, right? So high performance habits is her specialty. By the way, Samantha also wrote the life coaching program inside of HCI. She has got a plethora of information and you get live access to her inside of the program. You're going to have live access to my personal mindset coach. You're going to have live access to my friend and heart-centered sales expert, Kayla Guetta. You're going to have access to my marketing expert friend. Her name is Jess, and she has her own marketing and advertising agency. You're going to have access to my copywriter, who I have worked with, Laura Machimtano. It's amazing. And I have invested personally one-on-one with all of these people, and I'm bringing them all in because I know that they are the support that allowed me to do what it is that I do. And so I want to give you access directly to them as well. So it is, yay, Samantha is so grateful to be a part of the community. Yes, it's so exciting. And we are all about connection and collaboration. So many people are connecting with each other, going in each other's Facebook groups, cheering each other on. Like, it really is a way that you get to build and grow your business and be part of a heart-centered community. So one thing that I want to share is that the bonus, there is a $2,000 bonus that's going away tonight at midnight. So if you are like, you know what, I'm like 9.5 on a scale of 10, I just want to talk to Chris, book the clarity call with me and I will hold that discount for you if you book that appointment with me before midnight. So book the appointment with me before midnight, I'll hold that $2,000 discount. The other cool thing that I've done for the first time is I want to help you create cash quickly. And so I have, I'm going to be doing a special training. It's a 4-week live training. It's called the Cash Infusion Bootcamp. This is the short game, right? Remember earlier I talked about how we play a short game and a long game. Creating cash quickly in our business is a little bit different way of thinking, and there's some different things that we're going to look at. So the Cash Infusion Bundle is free for those of you that are working with me inside the Activate Abundance program. Thank you, Wendy. Appreciate you. And if you decide that, I don't know if I want the whole 6 months, but I do want the Cash Infusion Bundle, you can absolutely just join in the Cash Infusion Bundle, and that is $1,000. So it's $1,000 if you just want the Cash Infusion. That's 4 weeks inside of June. The Activate Abundance program doesn't start until July, but you're getting the whole Cash Infusion Bundle in June. So we're going to get you started on Monday if you want to join us now. So I would love to open it up for any questions that you have around any of the material or even around Activate Abundance or the Cash Infusion Bundle. Would love to support you here on any questions that you might have for me today. what is one action? Tell me, I would love everybody to share with me then, what is your one freebie that you're excited to either repurpose or use or do something with? Remember, I got everybody's agreement you're going to take action within 24 hours. So I want to know, like, what are you going to do with this info? Samantha says repurposing one of her vibe classes. Yes. And creating an infographic for clean and conscious living. I love it. Infographics are so fun. Yes. Cool. Sandy says create freebie. Which one did you like, Sandy? Which idea did you most like? You guys can come off mute, by the way. Christina's going to do an infographic on Canva. Awesome. Create a cheat sheet, Marnie says. Beautiful. Those are fun. Everybody loves cheat sheets, right? Checklists are good. They're all great. Cindy, Nicole, Liza. You might even have something right now. Not sure yet, as there are 2 to 3 I really like. What is just one idea, Sandy? You can always come back to the other 2. This is where we get to make empowered decisions. Just pick one and go with it. I was planning to do an infographic today, so this is just the fire to do it. Yay! Love it, love it, love it. Cool. Now, who are we missing? Nicole and Danny. Danny, what are you going to do? What's your freebie? You did the balance play today, which I saw on Facebook, which is great.
Yeah, I'm putting together a little kind of handout for gut health.
Amazing. Amazing. Awesome. Cindy, what about you?
Well, I already have a freebie healthy movement guide.
Beautiful.
But I really like the idea. I never thought about this before. Sample chapters of your book as a freebie. And so when that comes out, that'll be a good thing to do.
Yay, Cindy's got her book coming out. Let's give her some love. This is so exciting. Whoop, whoop. Cool. Nicole says, I've been doing infographics and putting together in a mini course. Okay, cool. Yeah, mini courses are great too, like a series of 3 emails or 3 videos. So again, all of these work. Here's what's going to stop you. Here's what's going to stop you. The perfectionist that says, that's not good enough. Nobody's going to want it. Who am I to do the thing? And so I want you to just put a piece of tape over her mouth and do it anyways. Do it even though it feels crunchy. Do it even though it feels uncomfortable. It doesn't need to be perfect. I promise that you will absolutely create success in your business the more actions and decisions that you make. What stops us quicker than quick is not taking the inspired action. We can get excited, but if we don't take that next step and we don't actually create it, or we don't actually do the thing, it's serving nobody, and it's certainly not attracting your ideal client, and it's not bringing any income into your business. Okay, so even imperfect works, even with spelling errors, I promise. Samantha's like, I love that. Yes. So can I get a commitment from everybody? Everybody here that you will, I already got the commitment that you're going to do something within 24 hours. Will you just allow it to be imperfect? Yep. Just allow it to be imperfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. You can always zhuzh it up later. You can always come back around and do something different later. Cool. Awesome. All right, my friends. I hope this was super helpful for you. This was so much fun for me. I love teaching this stuff. For those of you that are inside Activate Abundance, welcome. I'm really glad to have you here. And for those of you that are continuing with me, we're going to be diving into more of this inside of Activate Abundance. We're going to kind of take this into smaller chunks. And for those of you that want to hop on a quick call with me to hear about whether or not Activate Abundance is a good fit for you, where you are in your business, I would be happy to support you in making an empowered decision. Again, I just want to preface this that I'm about helping you make an empowered decision, not dragging you across the finish line. I do not drag anybody across the finish line. I don't do hard sales. If that's not the way that I roll, I've learned that that never works out good in the end. So that's not what I'm about. But I really do want to hear what it is that you're a yes for. And if you're a yes for this, amazing. If you're a no for this is fine too. I'll point you in the direction to get whatever it is that you want. And that way, awesome. Yay. Yay. See, we all need help and support in refocusing. Look, Samantha's like, hey, get to refocus. Awesome. All right, my friends, I hope you have an amazing day. I will see you inside the Facebook group. Don't forget, I will be in there. And I hope that this information served you really, really well. Cool. Bye.